So we're going to start a new unit on trigonometry. Now, before we can get into trig, we need to actually review algebra. What you'll be learning and what you'll be reviewing is basically one-step algebra problems that look like these. The tricky one that you may not have seen before is the last one, where the unknown, the x, is on bottom. So I'm going to go through a quick review of the algebra we need to do trigonometry. It's all one-step algebra. So 3 basic rules that we want to remember. The first one is we have to move the number away from the letter. The variable, the letter, we want to move the number away. So in this case, we always have to do the opposite to both sides. Now you don't see a multiplication sign, but multiplication is the only thing that can disappear. So right now we have multiplication, the opposite of is division, and so we divide both sides by 7. What we end up with is x equals 6. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 7 divided by 7 is 1. It disappears. In this case here, we have division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 13. We always take the denominator and we move the denominator over. So in this case, we're moving the 13 away from the end, which is what we want to do, and we want to isolate the end. So if we do this, 13 divided by 13, they cancel, it becomes 1 and disappears. 13 times 5, and we get our answer. So again, we're always moving the numbers away from the letter. We are always doing the opposite, and we do the opposite to both sides. Now, the third rule is we always have to have the variable on top. The letter must be on top. In this case, the letter's on bottom. Now, we cannot move the 15 over. We always move the bottom, the denominator. So what we have to do is multiply by j. And it seems strange, but we can move the letter just as easily as the number. What we end up doing is we cancel out the j's. They disappear. And we get 3j equals 15. Now it looks like this one that we had here. We want to move the 3 away from the j. We do the opposite. The 3's disappear. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, a shortcut you'll see, the shortcut is to take the 3 and switch it with the bottom. This only works if we take something from the top on one side to the bottom on the other. We cannot switch the two tops. It has to be bottom to top. We get the same answer. So you can do the shortcut, or you can do it in 2 steps. Both work. And the last one I want to go over, we don't use it in trig so much, but just to get to the idea that it's always the opposite. The opposite of a square is a square root. And if I square root both sides, do the same to both sides, x squared becomes x, and the square root of 81 is 9. What's next? The tangent ratio. What is a ratio, and how do we use our calculator?